Welcome everyone this afternoon for this afternoon's transportation hearing. I guess we will start with Mr. Dong, if you will read the docket.
Good afternoon. This is the application of Rogers Moving Specialist, LLC for a Class E household goods certification of public convenience and necessity for operation of a motor vehicle carrier. Docket number 2020-48T. Mr. Chairman and other members of the commission, docket's in order.
Thank you very much. Now, as is our practice in the virtual, we will take, and we'll ask y'all to mute your phone when you're not talking, actually. Charlie, if y'all will mute your phone if you're not talking directly through us, because we're getting all your peripheral conversation. The commissioner will take roll. Commissioner Belser.
Here.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Here.
Commissioner Howard.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin.
Here.
Great, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, now we'll take appearances from the parties. First, from the applicant, Mr. Terraney.
Charlie Terraney for the applicant, Rogers Moving Specialist, LLC.
Thank you. Welcome. ORS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Chris Huber for ORS, and also have with me Mr. Thomas McGill.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Huber and Mr. McGill. Anything we need, any preliminary matters that we need to take up? I think we've talked through a lot of this.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
Mr. Chairman, this is Charlie Terraney. If you'd like me to repeat for the record, the applicants are filing, as a matter of fact, as we speak, e-filing amended pages 2, 4, and 8 of their application. The changes on page 2 and 4 simply reflect the corporate form of the company. On page 2, the company is now, on the amended page, is identified as a limited liability company instead of as a partnership, I believe, as it was previously identified. On page 4, the insurance quote originally had been filled out in the name of Roy Rogers Jr. We're filing a page 4 with the insurance quote filled out on the name line with Rogers Moving Specialist, LLC. On page 8, the applicant had originally declined to accept e-service of an order. We are filing a notarized page 8 in which the applicant accepts e-service of the order. And I apologize for the delay, but the only way we could get a notary under these conditions was when my clients arrived at my office today and needing a notarized page 8. That's what we're doing.
Okay. Mr. Dong, do we need to go ahead and enter the application and the amended pages as exhibits, or do we need to wait until Mr. Terraney and the Rogers?
I think it's just as easy to do it in the ordinary course. Just have Mr. Terraney present his case.
Okay. Let's begin then, Mr. Terraney.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If it pleases the commission, we're ready to proceed. I would begin by moving into evidence the application of Rogers Moving Specialist, LLC.
And we will enter the application as hearing exhibit number 1.
I would also enter into evidence the 3 amended pages which are being e-filed as we speak and were described earlier into evidence.
Okay, the edited pages 2, 4, and 8 will be late filed and e-filed, and they will be hearing exhibit number 2.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, we had a shipper witness affidavit that is on file and was accepted by the hearing officer. I would move into evidence the shipper witness affidavit of Avery Feaster.
Okay, so we'll move that to number 3, Mr. Dong. Or you want
Yes,
number
sir.
3?
Number 3 is fine.
Number 3.
Okay.
Okay.
And proof of publication has been filed with the Rock Hill Herald and the Post and Courier. I would move the affidavits of publication into evidence as a composite exhibit, I believe number 4.
Yep, we will enter that. The proof of publication is exhibit number 4.
And when I call the applicant's witness, Roy Rogers, to the stand, we will introduce his pre-file testimony and exhibits.
Okay. Hey, let's do that, and I will be swearing Mr. Rogers in when you call him to the stand.
Okay, the applicant calls Roy Rogers, Jr. to the stand. Mr. Rogers?
Yes. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Rogers. Let me get you sworn in. If you will raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Terani, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rogers, please state your full name for the record and give us your business address.
My full name is Roy Rogers, Jr. My address is 561 Whaley Court, Rock Hill, South Carolina, 29732.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Did you prepare or cause to be prepared 4 pages of pre-file testimony in this docket?
Yes.
Do you have any corrections or additions you wish to make to that testimony?
No.
Okay. If I ask you the questions in that testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Okay. Did your testimony have 2 exhibits attached? Exhibit A, a proposed tariff, and Exhibit B, a proposed bill of lading?
Yes.
Do you have any changes you wish to make to the exhibits?
No, sir.
How about the tariff? Did you want to change the hourly rate on page?
Oh, yeah. To $110 an hour.
Okay. So that change would be in Exhibit A to your pre-file testimony on page 5 of Exhibit A, and where it's on the line that says 2 men and a truck, and under hourly weekday charge, it currently reads $100 an hour, and if I understood correctly, you would like to change that to $110 an hour.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
110. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other changes you wish to make to these exhibits?
No, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would move into evidence at this time the pre-file testimony of Roy Rogers, Jr., and with Exhibits A and B, please.
Okay, Mr. Rogers, pre-filed direct testimony will be entered into the record as though given orally from the stand. We will enter his exhibits A and B, and A with the amended pages, page 5, on the tariff, and B being the bill of lading as hearing exhibit number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rogers, let's take a few minutes to tell the Commission a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
Born in Jersey City, New Jersey.
And when did you move down south? Where about? Were you a young man?
Real young, yeah. Yes, sir. I think I was about 10, 12, something like that.
Okay. How long have you been engaged in the moving business?
I've been doing it for about 20, 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were telling me a little bit about your experience as a mover, but first of all, let me ask you, where are you employed now?
Staples.
And what do you do for Staples?
Drive trucks, delivery.
Okay.
Make deliveries.
How long have you been doing that?
15 years.
Okay. Now, before Staples, and maybe I guess even while you were at Staples, have you worked in the moving business in other capacities?
Yes, sir.
How did you get started?
I started out going to the truck stop catching trucks, moving trucks. And then after that, did that for a while. Then I said, let me just go go to a moving company and get a job.
How old were you when you started going to the truck stop?
I think about 16, 17 years old.
Wow. How old are you now?
I'm 50 some change. No, I'm 55 years old. I'll be 56 June.
Gosh, you don't look 55.
I know. Roy Rogers got to stay looking good. With a name like Roy Rogers.
So you were catching trucks, and you had a name for that, I believe. What were they called?
Back then they called it lumping.
Lumping?
Yeah, we were lumpers.
Lumpers.
You go out, you catch a truck, they pay you by the weight of the truck.
Okay. And when you started working for moving companies, when did you do that?
I can't remember the date, but I started out working with a company called 2 Men in the Truck.
Yes, sir.
I did that for a while. I've trained guys. I was a leader. Mm-hmm. Basically, I was a leader. I was the go-to guy. And then, I did that. Then I started working for All My Sons, Atlas, So I've worked with plenty of them. They all know me because of my name, Roy Rogers, and the work that I was doing. Okay. Because I was good at what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I was either moving furniture or training guys.
Okay. And just as a side note, you're a mover, but you also have another vocation, we should call it. You're a pastor, right?
Yeah, I'm a minister. Me and my wife, we're ministers.
Okay.
We preach, teach. I even do. I go to the prisons, which I've been doing that for 12 years now. I go to the prisons and teach and preach.
And your wife is seated next to you, and her name is Pamela Rogers. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. The love of my life.
That's good.
Yes.
How did you come to form Rogers Moving Company?
Well, I always wanted a business, and I tried several of them. It didn't work, and I guess it was because of me wanting to do my thing. Mm-hmm. And me as a minister, I confronted God. I'm just being honest. I confronted God and said, had to talk with, just give me what you want me to have, mm-hmm. and because I'm a firm believer, as I know, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, do what you know to do. So what, all I ever done was move furniture.
Okay.
And, that's what I'm doing. That's what I want to do, move furniture.
And that's a valuable service.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
Moving
yes,
people's belongings.
Yes, sir.
So it's a way to serve.
It's a way to serve. I'm moving is stressful to people, and it helps you to meet people. Just being there.
Yeah.
Helping. That's just my thing.
So did you form this limited liability company?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay.
I did.
And are you the only member of it?
Yes. Well, me and my wife.
Your wife,
yes.
She's involved in it as well, obviously. And how many employees do you expect to have for your company?
Well, I put it like this. However God bless me, mm-hmm. whatever he blesses me with, that's what I'm going with, because I don't want this to be about me. Mm-hmm. I want it to be about Christ. Mm-hmm. Whatever he blesses me with.
Is your wife going to work for the company?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you'll work?
I'll work.
And do you plan to start with some other movers?
Yes, sir.
How many do you think you might start with this year, for instance, once we get out of this COVID lockdown?
How many would I start with?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah. How many do you think you'll hire?
4 or 5 starting off.
Mr. Chairman, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just didn't see you on the screen. we talked a little bit about your knowledge of the moving industry, because you've worked in it all your life, and so you know what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
How are you going to hire people?
Well, first of all, we're going to be a drug test.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to, once, they pass drug tests and all that, then we'll train,
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go from there.
And having been in the moving business and all those years, those were in Rock Hill, right? So you would have access to a qualified pool of people to draw from.
Yes,
You know the people.
Yes.
You know who's good and who's not, right?
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
with a name, I'm just saying, we're named like Roy Rogers again. I know a lot of people know me now, especially me being a minister.
Yes, sir.
And me doing prison.
Yes,
work.
sir.
So I'm noticed.
How would you go about training folks?
What I would do is I have a video made of
Mm-hmm.
myself, the proper way to lift furniture, the proper way to package furniture, what we call is wrap the furniture,
Mm-hmm.
a proper way to pack boxes. Is more or less a video.
Okay. And I believe you've mentioned this before, but you not only have experience as a mover, you've got experience as a trainer, right?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I trained for many companies, 2 Men in the Truck, All My Sons, Easy Movers, Atlas. I've trained for them. I basically, like I said earlier, I was the go-to guy.
Okay.
Everybody looked up to me. I'm not going to say was, I still am a leader, and not only helped them out, it helped me out as well.
So training's something you've got some experience.
Oh, yeah.
And now has your license ever been suspended?
No.
Okay. Do you have any outstanding judgments against you?
No, sir.
Does your company have any outstanding judgments?
No, sir.
Do you have a truck?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think if I can make this work, I think we have a picture of the truck and we can show the commission. What kind of truck do you have?
It's a 2013 Freightliner.
Okay. And you have the necessary equipment to do moving?
Yes, sir. Blankets, hand trucks,
Yeah.
yeah,
Pads.
whole pad, tape, all that. Yes, sir.
Okay. How about insurance? Have you gone out and gotten a quote for cargo insurance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And a quote for liability insurance, or,
Yes, sir.
or do you have liability
We have
insurance?
Yes, sir.
And you had, I believe, an insurance policy attached, but to your application, but that policy has in fact been renewed recently.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we have some copies of your insurance cards with us today. How about, tell us about what your plan is for this business. You've told me about the greater plan.
Right.
Let's talk about what you plan to do, say, over the next 5 years. Are you going to grow it? Are you going to stay the way you are? What are your
I plan to grow it. I plan to let it grow. Me again, I put God first in helping me, allow it to grow. And I think it will be a big business, because it's really much needed.
Mm-hmm. You've witnessed the demand.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. How are you going to advertise?
Well, by social media, probably, newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
You filed a bill of lading. with your application.
Yes, sir.
And you filed a tariff.
Yes, sir.
With your application. Do you understand that you have to use a bill of lading for each one of your moves?
Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
Is that something you've had some experience
I had
before?
some experience. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you also have a tariff that we put together, and you understand that you have to quote the tariff rates for your application.
Yes, sir.
I mean, for your moves.
Oh, yes, sir.
But you can't, I'm having a little trouble with it here. Let's see if I can make this work. So, tell me, let's talk about your tariff a little bit. You are, I'm not going to try to pull it up because I can't. But if you have several rates, if somebody were to want to make a move say from Rock Hill to Columbia, how would that work? Can you just walk us through how you would quote and how you would charge them?
Yes, sir. What I would do, I would go to the home and do an estimate of it. Let's just say if it's a 3-bedroom, what I would do, estimate how long would it take to load the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say 3 hours. It depends on if it's stairs or a ranch house.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, we would, after load the truck, we would take it to where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say from there to Columbia, that'd be an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then depends on how long it would take to unload. What it depends on is how many steps, or is it just a ranch house, or it's just. So I would say altogether about 8 hours for the, and again, an estimate is just a guess.
Right.
But if you've been doing it a long time, such as me, most of the time you get it right, and sometimes you get it, just a little bit under or less.
And you have a minimum charge, right?
Yes, sir.
You have a truck charge. What's that?
That's $110 an hour.
Okay.
3 hour minimum of $440.
Okay, so you would have a truck charge plus a minimum charge.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you agree to abide by all the commission's rules and regulations as you carry out your business?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Please answer any questions from Mr. Huber may have from ORS or that the commissioners may have.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Terraney. Mr. Huber, any questions?
No questions from ORS. I just kind of have a housekeeping question. The change to the bill of lading, tariff, excuse me. Is Mr. Attorney planning to file a late file exhibit with that corrected, or is it just going to be marked through in the exhibit?
We will. We can file a corrected tariff reflecting the change.
Okay.
With the proposed order.
Okay. Thank you.
That satisfies. Is that Mr. Dong and Ms. Wheat? I saw you talking. Does that work?
We'll make the correction to the exhibit, and then he can file that with the order.
Okay. Okay, so we're good with that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Huber, any other questions?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner, any questions for Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I just have one quick question for Mr. Rogers. Good afternoon, Mr. Rogers.
How you doing, sir?
Happy to have you with us today. I'm the commissioner from the 5th District, and you're in my district, and we're certainly happy to have you and your wife with us today. Just got one or two quick questions for you.
Yes, sir.
And as your attorney, Mr. Terraney, was going over your insurance, I see your insurance certificate, and one of them looks like a State Farm policy covering the vehicle, and then there's another certificate of insurance which appears to have just an awful lot of coverage on general liability. It looks like a general liability or umbrella policy, but I'm having a little trouble seeing where or what your cargo limits. You're more than covered on liability from what I can see, but I don't see your cargo amount coverage. Could you direct me to that, or maybe I'm not looking in the right place?
Commissioner Whitfield, if I may.
Yeah.
The applicant has been looking for cargo insurance coverage, and I had it in that PowerPoint presentation. There is a quote for cargo coverage that has been received but was not with the application. If we could introduce that as a late filed exhibit, we'd be happy to provide it. I'm having trouble getting this thing to work correctly, but it is a quote for cargo coverage from in the amount of $50,000 from Jackson Summer and Associates broker, and we would ask leave to introduce that as a late file exhibit.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
I certainly think that would be in order. I see the American Reliable policy and I see the State Farm, but certainly, if Mr. Chairman, if you could, I would like to request that you identify a number for that, if you could, sir.
Okay, and I'll get Mr. Dong. I think that
Number 6.
Enter a late file would be number 6 on the cargo insurance. That's right. That works. Okay, we will identify that and for a late filed exhibit, and it'll be hearing exhibit number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Rogers.
Thank you.
To you and your wife, Mr. Rogers, with that late filed exhibit identifying your cargo coverage, I have no further questions. I would certainly add one comment. Your Freightliner is a nice-looking truck, at least what I could see from the video, and it certainly doesn't look like a 2013. It looks like a brand-new vehicle. So it looks like you got a good piece of equipment there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot.
All right, Commissioner Whitfield, is that everything?
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, this is Commissioner Bell.
Commissioner Belser.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Rogers.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I hope you're doing well today.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to talk to you a minute about your rates and charges, if you would.
Yes, ma'am.
The tariff says that the truck fee is one time. What does that mean, one time?
Well, really, what it really is just a travel fee. I just say one-time travel fee. See, with some companies, and I have experienced it with other companies, that they would tell you, like let's say $110 an hour, $110 travel fee, and then when at the end of the bill, then the rate will go up for the travel fee, or either for the hourly. So we just, I just say one-time fee.
Okay, so
travel fee.
If I hired you to move me from Rock Hill to Columbia, what would the truck fee be for that day's move?
So it would be 110. What would happen is if it took let's just say if it took 4 hours.
Yes, sir.
Right? So it'd be 4 times 110 plus 110.
Okay.
The 110 is the travel, the 110 is the the hourly rate.
That's all.
So that will be like $5.50, I believe.
All right. I just wanted that clarification, and I appreciate your explanation. I thank
No
you,
problem.
and I wish you luck with this venture.
Thank you for saying that. I sure appreciate it.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. Commissioners, any other questions? Okay. If not, Mr. Rogers, we appreciate your testimony, and we will we'll let you step down as a witness. And now I'll call on Mr. Huber from ORS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. ORS did not file any direct testimony in this matter. My understanding is Mr. Terrini is in the process of filing an updated application. And once we have a chance to look at what the updates we've requested are made, we plan to file the letter stating, in ORS's opinion, the applicant will meet the requirements of fit, willing, and able. I have Mr. McGill with me here today, though, if any of the commissioners have any questions.
Good, thank you. Commissioners, anybody want to give Mr. McGill a shot this week? Looks like it's you're off again, Mr. McGill, but we thank you. Anything else, Mr. Huber?
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay. All right. As I see it, we've covered all our bases. Anything else to come before us, Mr. Dong?
I think that we had spoken before the hearing about making a late filed exhibit of the letter that we expect to receive from ORS.
Correct. Yeah, you're right. And I was asking because I knew I'd leave out something. So
that would be number 7.
Be number 7. Yeah. Great. We will enter that as ORS's late filed exhibit with their letter as number 7. Okay. Anything else that anyone has to come before us with this? Okay.
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Terrini, Mr. Rogers, and Ms. Rogers. Thank y'all for being here. Okay. I appreciate everybody's time today and willingness to do this virtual hearing. If there's nothing else to come before us, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.